Only I know how it feels to be Robert W. Shields.
No one would argue with that statement. Reverend Bob Shields is one of a kind.
I'm doing what many other people are doing, only I'm doing more of it.
Like millions of people, Reverend Bob Shields keeps a diary. But Bob's diary is different. Very different.
It's amazing how much it adds up each day.
For the past 60 years, Bob has kept a diary.
125 to 140, I paid Sears $250, the balance on our family portraits.
But in 1972,
I never had such a session at a bank.
22 years ago,
oh, it was awfully confusing.
Bob started keeping a very unusual diary.
One thing I think that drives me on is the thought that I'm doing something that nobody else is doing. Nobody in the world has ever done. And that is to record his thoughts and his feelings every minute of the day and night for over 20 years.
Oh.
For more than 2 decades, Bob has recorded every minute of his life. Every minute.
10:35 to 10:40, I fed the cat Safeway cat salmon.
Bob records what he eats. He records every piece of mail that he receives. And he records all receipts in his diary.
I put in labels from meat. It gives the price, it gives the weight. Every minute that's has to be accounted for.
When Bob says every minute, he means every minute. Bob records every time he goes to the bathroom.
Yeah, he puts in all that.
Grace is Bob's wife. Somehow, some way, she puts up with Bob and his diary.
Seems to me that's sort of harmless if he wants to, you know, spend all that time on it and put everything in.
Well, I suppose it could be called an obsession, but anything could be called an obsession that is a repetitive practice, like breathing. It could be an obsession.
Bob spends 5 hours a day on his diary. This one book represents about a year of his life. Bob keeps most of his diary in storage.
I have 75 boxes here.
In these 75 boxes, Bob estimates that his diary has more than 35 million words. Embarrassing moments go into the diary too.
Well, most embarrassing things is my dreams. I dream sometimes that I'm naked.
So why does Reverend Bob Shields do it? Why does he record everything?
9 to 9:15, I read the Oxford Dictionary of Quotations.
Well, Bob says after he dies, the diary will be donated to Washington State University.
8 to 8:20, I read the diary.
Bob says in 200 years, people can read about what life was like in the late 1900s.
He envisions some poor PhD scholar trying to make a report of it or a study of it, you know, the poor guy. Die a horrible death. Boredom.
Obviously, I'll be gone and forgotten entirely. It'll only be the words that I put down that will be remembered.
Future generations will be able to know, minute by minute, exactly what Bob ate, what he thought, and what his dreams were.
So when I'm naked in a dream, nobody else is noticing it. They don't notice that I'm naked. And they're not naked. I don't understand it.
In Dayton, Washington, Scott Rensberger, KIRO News Channel 7.
Oh, me.